Okay, we're here with Meredith Butch, one of our sculptors for the Albany Outdoor Show, the first Albany Outdoor Show. Can you tell us a bit about your piece that you brought today?
Well, I generally don't make sculptures about men. I generally make sculptures about women. Okay. And this particular piece is a part of a much larger series. There's, I don't know, 70 or some of them that deal with relationships. Not that I've had 70 relationships, but I make at least 70 pieces about it. This one just happens to be about my second wife, who was a dancer and choreographer. And so that's why it says, "Where to dance?" Because she decided that she did not like Texas, and she was moving back to Chicago, where she was from, and I could either come with or I could stay. And I was far enough in debt, partially because of her, that I couldn't afford to quit my job and move, so I stayed.
So is there a follow-up piece to that?
Well, no. There's just other pieces. Other relationships. If you live long enough, you just have this backlog of information.
Right.
And I've lived long enough.
Okay. And give us a little about your background. You're from Houston? Or you're
in
Houston?
I live in Houston now. I've been there since 1976. It's 35 years when I was. I had been teaching at a branch campus in the University of Minnesota, where 40 below was somewhat common. And I stayed there as long as I could, but I just had to leave, so I quit my job and moved to Texas. And my first wife and I were looking at Texas and went to Dallas and didn't like Dallas. And Fort Worth was kind of nice, but nobody had anything going on there. Went down to Austin to visit a friend of mine that was teaching at UT. He said, you know, you ought to go down to Houston and talk to little Bobby Duncan. And yeah, I'd known Duncan for a few years. I'd met him when he was a graduate student. And he showed us around, and I called some galleries and said, gee, I'd like to come by. And they said, sure. And an art consultant took us to lunch. My God, art professionals being pleasant, which was not the case anywhere else I'd ever been. So we just picked up and moved.
Okay.
And Houston is the land of milk and honey as far as I'm concerned. I mean, yes, this is a beautiful little town. I like it. And I can see why you like it. But, you know, I like the big city. I'm an inner looper. But, you know, anybody outside the loop is a suburbanite as far as I'm concerned.
Well, do you know anything else?
I mean, is there anything else that you just want to
Anything
say?
else
Well, I'd like to say that Joe's doing a wonderful job for the town, and that they ought to appreciate him as best they could.
Well, I appreciate that. Okay, well, thank you, Butch.